welcome back everybody to One on One with the Humble Prince. Like I said, I'm talking about women's rights in Nigeria and the Gender and Equal Opportunities Bill that was recently thrown out by the Nigerian Senate. And to help me do justice on that same topic is Dr. Abiola Akiyode, who is a gender and human rights activist and also a lawyer. Please, can you just give us a brief insight into the recent Gender and Equal Opportunities Bill?
On the 21st of March this year,
yes,
the Gender and Equal Opportunity Bill was presented at the House, at the National Assembly.
But what does the bill really contain?
The bill is a bill that is integrating the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women and the EU Protocol. And these were conventions that were already ratified, by Nigeria. For the CEDAW, that's been ratified for over 20 years. For the AU protocol, that came in 2003, and Nigeria was one of the countries that actually pushed for it. Now, by virtue of Nigerian law, Section 25 says that when you have ratified a law outside of Nigeria, you need to domesticate it. So what the attempt that was being made on the 21st of March was to domesticate a law that Nigeria had signed and ratified at the international level. And that was where the problem started. What happened on that day was not surprising, because year after year we have tried and attempted to bring this law to say, well, if you have signed at the international level, it shouldn't be a problem for the law to be domesticated in Nigeria. When people started raising sentiments of religion, culture,
and culture. Right.
And that was where the problem started. And it was unfortunate that same person has always been known, Yerima, the Senator Yerima, has always been known to oppose issues of gender equality, issue of equal status in marriage, was one of those who advocated for child bride, So coming from that, and also looking at the fact that as we speak, the Senate has only 7 women out of 107. So in terms of solidarity for Senator Olu, who was pushing the bill, was also not there. But we actually got some progressive men who started off the debate, know. But unfortunately, immediately they started raising the issue of religion and culture. The whole thing went. And I think the Senate president also didn't do what is right, because there are ways you can actually undo that. You can recall and ask them to represent. You don't use the voice vote. So we also feel that it's just a patriarchy. It's a conspiracy of people of patriarchal behavior and attitude who just feel that we don't want this bill to go, and they just thought that the best way for them to do was just to kill the bill. For us as human rights and women's rights activists, we have to re-strategize. Because if you look at the whole discussion between September and now, talking about these sustainable development goals, talked about a standalone goal, which is on women empowerment and gender equality. And if Nigeria is also signed on to that and playing a very big role in implementing that, what does the bill talk about? The bill is reaffirming is the need not to discriminate against men and women. So the bill was not, because it's a gender bill, was not even talking in particular about women. It was talking about non-discrimination on the issue of right to health. If you look at our maternal mortality record, Nigeria has one of the worst. We are next to India. We have the total, about 17% of the total global maternal mortality record. And if you also look at it talks about issue of right to health, it talks about education, it talks about equal rights of men and women, and the issue that they were raising was also the issue of widowhood. And you can imagine, at this 21st century, how do you think that all the kind of things that we see, the practices against the widow in Nigeria, you are not allowed to inherit. You can't even take custody of your children.
Right. And I spoke to some people about that, and they were saying that, the Constitution kind of covers that already.
Well, in practice, that's not the reality.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And that is why, if you see some cases, Mojeku went as far as Supreme Court. When they were saying that a woman cannot even inherit her husband, and there was several cases like that. There is a case of Onwo, which also went as far as Court of Appeal, where they had to shave the head of the widow. But then you ask yourself, so where was the Constitution? At that. So the point is that the Constitution has not been very fair to women. There is a specific issue. Yes. There are Section 34 is talking about the issue of human dignity and all that. But that is notwithstanding. There are specific issues, the issue of cultural practices, the issue of widowhood, that we need to. If you look at the Constitution of Ghana, for example, took that issue of cultural practices against women, because it's a fundamental thing. So we can't close our eyes. But what we saw at the National Assembly actually shows to a large extent that we don't have a parliament that is interested in addressing the issue of gender equality. It also shows to a large extent what we are built what Nigeria is, how we're built, our cultural, ethnic,
Yes. So,
complexity.
Yeah, let me interject with that, because a lot of people cited culture and religion, but I think if we're still adhering to edicts or running the country based on religion and culture, that's being archaic. Those laws are antiquated, and those laws are not modern. And those laws, in my opinion, some of them are discriminate against women.
By our High Court rules, it's also clear that where those laws are repugnant to natural justice, equity, and good conscience, they are not supposed to stand. But you see, it's a very subjective terminology. So it depends on what the discretion of the judge or the magistrate that is taking, the issue up. We still have female genital mutilation in Nigeria, and there's no national law addressed. And those are some of the issues that this bill, was going to address. We still have, and the bill is very much aware of some of the issues. One of the issues that they raised was the issue of rights, freedom of movement for women. And the Constitution is clear. That's a universal declaration. Everybody have a right to movement. So you can't say based on religion and custom. A woman cannot move from a part. What it means is that you are encouraging prostitution and all that. So this whole idea of patriarchy, thinking that the woman belongs to you, and that is why. And I want to say,
the dowry.
Yeah, there is no way the country can move forward if you exclude the contribution and the production of about 50% of your population. How many women in Nigeria presently own a bank account? They are less than 20%. So if you begin to look at it like that, there is a need for the government to take steps. And this gender and equal opportunity bills provides that, because we need a framework. If you don't have the framework, you will go to a woman will go to police station. The Constitution doesn't allow for it, but they will tell you that a woman cannot take bail of a child. So
wait, are you serious?
Yeah, yes.
Wow,
so and those are the things that the law is trying to redefine. Some of the things, oftentimes we take our laws from colonial, English law and things, and these people at a point that even they are no longer using some of this provision.
Yeah, like I said, those laws are archaic. They're old.
But we are not changing what we have. The country is not ready to address the issue of gender equality. And of course, we're not going to sit there.
Some of the things I was reading on social media and in different forums was that the bill was thrown out because it was poorly written. Do you know who wrote the bill, who presented the bill?
No, it was for years, civil society has been working on the bill.
So
I am part of the National Coalition on Affirmative Action,
right?
And we're part of the group who did a draft, of the bill, and they can't even say that now because the bill was actually passed in the last quarter, in the last administration.
So what I heard was that it didn't get past the second reading. On the floor this time around.
Yes, this time around. But so it can't be a bad law like that.
So here's my question. So it was not poorly written?
It was not poorly written.
Because I read it, so I didn't know what to compare it with.
No.
And the poorly written part came from people saying, it goes against culture and it goes against religion, and that culture kind of supersedes.
And they said it goes against the Constitution. I didn't see anything like that in the bill.
I really didn't see it.
I think it's just a very defeatist approach.
Right.
Trying to just call the dog a bad name so that you can, allow it to pass. I think that is quite irresponsible for anybody to think at this generation that we should not, because the issue that there is. So I think that we should move. If we don't move,
we're just going to remain stagnant. This is what I tell people. Just because you're a man doesn't mean you can't be a feminist and fight for women's rights.
Yeah, we have several pro women. So we're
looking at one right here.
So we're actually going to get everybody. I think the time has come for us.
Definitely, it's time for us to take action.
Yes, we are in negotiation, and the bill will be represented. But I think that one of the things that we also didn't do well as civil rights activists in Nigeria is to negotiate the bill properly before it came to the floor of the House. And I think that's where we're at, and we are going to go back.
When is the bill going to be presented again?
Well, the way it is, it can't be presented until the next session, and the next session will not start until June, July. So and that gives us enough time to mobilize. We call on everyone. We need to address the issue in Nigeria. We cannot continue to exclude 50% of the population.
We need to send, our lawmakers a message that, women equality is critical. It's critical and it's very important in Nigeria. Thank you guys very much for watching. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much.
If If you're looking for a taste of Africa, visit us at OVA Boutique, located at 1421A Stuyvesant Ave, Union, New Jersey, or our website, ovaboutique.com. We carry a wide range of African fabric, dresses, head ties, and accessories, as well as services that will help you with any type of events such as weddings, birthdays, and anniversaries. If you're ready for an experience of the motherland, visit us today.